Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Unnamed Comics Podcast. I'm Alex,
I'm Francisco.
and this week is gonna be a little different. We don't have a specific topic this week. We're talking about the past 2 weeks of what's happened in comics because there's just a lot going on, and trying out a little, like maybe a slightly different format for the show.
And we're going to see how this fits and then either incorporate it into future episodes or, work some things that worked and take out the ones that didn't.
Yeah, but first, the weekly poll.
All right. So, number one on the list is Infinite Frontier number five.
Infinite Frontier number 5. After last
Uh,
week's last Infinite Frontier, I'm very fucking excited.
yep. We'll get more into why we're so excited with issue number five in a bit
Yeah,
after the weekly poll.
it's the
We
penultimate
also
issue.
have, yeah, we also have Son of Kal-El issue number two.
Yeah, which I'm more excited than Infinite Frontier.
Oh yeah,
Because
because
we know that Superman is getting a secret identity, at least for the
mhm,
first like couple pages. It seems like.
yeah. We're also getting Superman 78 issue number one,
Yeah,
which is going to be a continuation of the original Christopher Reeve Superman. Last week we got Batman 78 or
86.
70 86, which was a continuation of the Michael Keaton Batman, which was another great issue.
It's all to tie
Um,
into the Flash movie that's coming out.
you think so?
I mean, yeah, Michael Keaton is about to be Batman again. You don't think that they were like, "Hey, let's make a
I
comic for
mean,
that"?
maybe. I just don't want to put it out there until we know for sure.
89. I mean, I think it's safe to say that they're like trying to get people excited for that character to come back again.
Mhm.
I don't think the Superman is specifically a connection. I think they might just be doing that just because
It could
it's also
be
exciting. It could be.
the Supergirl who's been leaked could be the Christopher Reeve.
I blurred
Yes,
out.
I have no idea. It could be that the new Supergirl in the Flashpoint movie could be the Christopher Reeve's Superman's daughter.
Yeah, that's true. It could be. That'd be really cool. I think that it almost doesn't make sense for them to make these unless it's a bigger tie into something else.
Hmm.
I mean, they're
Um,
exciting for people like you and me, but unless like it's tied into like movies in general, it's not as
all that
engaging.
exciting.
Yeah,
We're also getting Spider-Man Life Story Annual number one, which I know I suggested that you read and that you liked it.
I fucking loved it. I read through that entire thing in one night. I was gonna like just read. Oh, I'll read issue 1, and then Ion passed out, and I'm still up at like 4 a.m. reading it.
Read the rest. Yeah,
No, it
it's
was just
great.
so good. Uh,
Um,
you want to describe exactly what that is, real quick, just so people
it
understand?
it's a Spider-Man life story. I believe I talked about Fantastic Four life story before on the podcast. And it kind of follows the same format where it follows Spider-Man when he becomes Spider-Man, and then it follows him through the decades. So like I believe it was like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
And then
and the
the aughts.
2000s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it,
It's
it follows Spider-Man and then it ages him up in each decade as well.
yeah.
Which is a fun little side story for Spider-Man.
It follows like the wars that are happening at the time, like the superheroes and how they're interacting with war torn,
Hmm.
like planet. It's 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 pretty interesting.
And then from Boom Studios, which I got into over the past couple weeks, something is killing the children.
Boom Studios. I read Once and Future.
Hmm.
That's what I've been
Yeah,
reading from
I'm
them.
I'm still reading that because it's putting out more and more.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's really great. Also, um, Seven Secrets, which I was talking with you before the podcast started,
Yep.
by Tom Taylor, is also Boom Studios. So Boom Studios is getting like some pretty like just good
Yeah.
comics coming out. Like they just had some like pretty great reads.
And then I know for you, comic coming out next week that you're excited for, Robin #5.
I'm so fucking pumped. Robin has been consistently good. Every issue has been consistently a joy to read.
Mm-hmm.
No downtime.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see all of the Robins because it's titled Rumble of the Robins.
Yeah. I mean, after the last issue where they all showed up at the end,
Mm-hmm.
like, I just, it's
Um,
gonna be great.
we're also getting Batman Superman issue number 21 next week.
I just stopped reading Batman Superman a while ago.
I mean,
Are you still in it?
I'm forced to be in it.
You're
'Cause I'm
forcing yourself to get through it now.
yeah,
Because isn't it? It's like is this the last issue or the penultimate issue?
I think it's the penultimate issue.
Yeah. I'm
What
just like I
else?
don't know what the story is anymore.
Yeah, I'm completely lost in the story,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna force myself to get through it.
Respect.
We also have Detective Comics and Action Comics coming out this week.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to both Action Comics because I think this is where we're gonna see Superman trapped on Warworld,
Mm-hmm.
and then Detective Comics because of Future State.
Yeah. Because we have Future State and the lead into Fear State,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
which is going to be like a big branching uh, thing happening in the DC universe, centered
yeah,
around Scarecrow, which is crazy.
yeah. I feel like for the Gotham portion of at least,
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent towards No Man's Land.
yeah. I think it's gonna be a very No Man's Land style. Like, I honestly, it feels kind of like the Arkham Knight setup,
Mm-hmm.
where it seems like it's gonna be like a hey, Scarecrow is like
Taking over.
taking over. But the interesting thing about Fear State is Scarecrow is taking over without doing any fear gas stuff. It's just this atmosphere that he's creating,
Yeah,
where everyone's afraid because like it doesn't even take fear gas to make people afraid. It's the threat of
of something
like
bigger.
yeah. So it's been really interesting reading the lead up to that. Also, Wonder Girl #3 is coming out, so
That also comes about.
I hope that she becomes Wonder Girl in this one.
Yeah, or at least it picks up more traction in that direction.
Just something. Because here's my thing. I like the character. I want to like the story,
Mm-hmm.
but they just haven't given me anything to go on. Right? There's nothing,
Um,
just not gripping. If it doesn't happen in this issue, I might just wait until the trade comes out.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I don't know. I feel like it's a pacing issue with that comic,
Yeah.
but I'm also looking forward to see a new Wonder Girl.
Yeah. I think it's too slow for like a first issue for like an original character.
Yeah,
I think that's their only issue.
I feel like if they didn't show her in Future State
They
and
wouldn't
like
have done
only
it like this. Yeah.
yeah, or at least we would have been more okay with this slow pace
Yeah. I don't know.
because we already saw her as Wonder Woman in Future State.
Yeah. I wish it does feel like we've already like gotten what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's true. Maybe that's why I'm upset. I'm annoyed. I'm not upset. I'm like
You're a tad annoyed.
I'm a tad annoyed because I wanna like it. That's you know what I mean?
I mean, let's hope for this week's issue.
Yeah.
Uh, we're also getting Wolverine issue number 15,
Hell yeah.
Avengers Annual #1, and then the annuals of the past few Marvel comics have been explaining where the Infinity Stones are.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I guess they're playing a role in Black Cat issues 9 and 10.
Again, the fact that Black Cat is so integral to like what's happening in Marvel right now is so weird to me. I know
Yeah,
we talked about it last time.
I'm gonna have to brush up on. I haven't read it yet because I'm gonna wait until issue 10 to come out to read it all in succession.
Mm.
But I'm enjoying the annuals because they're more side stories than anything else.
Yeah,
And then one dear to my heart that's coming out this week also, Thor issue number 16.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be Thor and Odin in a bar brawl. Yep.
Sounds cool as shit. I might just get that just to like read that part of it.
Yeah, the cover is both Thor and Odin squaring up in the middle of a bar. Yeah, and this comes after Thor put Mjolnir down for the last time.
Yeah. Also, I can't believe I'm reading this. I don't even know what publisher this is from, but it's here. Crisis on Infinite Quarantine #1.
What?
Here, I'll it's in like it's in the list for this week of new comics. I was just scrolling down to see if there was anything crazy.
Is it at the bottom of the list?
It's at the bottom of the list. What the one shot topical series? God, but
Oh, yeah, there
it
it
looks
is.
like the Crisis on Infinite Earths
Yeah, I
like
see it. Yeah.
header. Um, it says, yeah, that's right. It's a coronavirus. It looks like literally, like what the coronavirus looks like. It's like a
Hmm.
thing. But it says,
I
yeah,
killed
that's
your
right.
pappy,
And I'm
and
coming
I'm
for you
coming for you
too.
next. What the fuck?
Fuck it. I
Sure, I guess.
apply to the affected area as needed. The fuck is who's the publisher for this?
No idea. Oh,
AV.
I'm looking at this list also, and we're getting a Winter Guard issue.
Okay.
For those, I'm not sure if we've ever brought it up before, but the Winter Guard is basically Russia's Avengers in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised by that one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Huh.
Is it an issue one or
Is it issue one? Yeah.
huh? I might pick that up just
I
for
mean,
fun.
yeah, I'll pick it up.
Why not? Thanks,
Um,
thanks for the sub, Sonic.
I believe that's it for the weekly poll.
Yeah, I think that's it. But and now let's do you want to start with Marvel What If, or because we're gonna talk about Marvel
Um,
What If because we've both
like
seen
the
both
last
episodes.
episode came out, yeah.
We should talk about the first
Um,
episode first because we haven't talked about it at all.
this is Peggy Carter,
Yeah.
Captain Carter.
How'd you feel about that one?
Um, I'm a huge fan of any woman who can pick me up and throw me, and Peggy Carter can definitely do that, and I will welcome it.
I like that I knew exactly what you were gonna answer with.
That and like I've seen her in comics, like Captain, uh, Captain Carter.
Mhm.
I don't think she's ever gone by Captain Britain because that's a whole
She
other person.
should, though, right?
Yeah, but like they already have like a Captain Britain core
I
in the Marvel
know.
universe.
I know they got one,
Um,
but why not? Why not just
I'm
have her be one of those?
I'm pretty sure she is at least in one universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like Captain Carter. I feel like she's so I love Steve Rogers' Captain America.
Yeah.
But for argument's sake, I would say that Peggy is the superior captain
I agree.
because out the gate she knew what she was doing
Yeah.
because she
I
was already a trained military officer.
I think the thing is, like, I really enjoyed watching Peggy Carter as like, Captain Carter. But overall, like the conflict was so easy to resolve for her.
Yeah,
So it's less
it
interesting
was.
because she's too
Yeah,
competent.
we also in that same episode we also got Steve Rogers with an Iron Man suit.
Which was cool.
Yeah,
This guy didn't I wasn't
with
expecting it. So
the Tesseract being the power source for the suit.
yeah.
They had
Skinny
a
Steve.
funny. they had a funny little thing with the train where Bucky, falls to his assumed death.
Yeah.
Where Peggy grabs his arm. He's like, "You almost tore my arm off." It's like, ah,
I laughed at that one too. I nudged Eye and I was like, eh? Do the thing.
it's like, I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and then it was the same thing with like I had a dance to go to at the end where
Mm-hmm.
she like pops up in front of Nick Fury and Clint Barton.
Yeah.
Do you think they in a future because Captain Carter will be coming back in another episode?
Yeah.
Um,
I think that they're setting it up like it's all happening in the same world, maybe, but I
the What
can't.
If universe, right?
Yeah. I that's what it feels like because like in the second episode, it feels like a lot of different stuff has to happen for some of the things to pan out that way.
Hmm.
Like for some of like the things that are in the collector's like air, like his uh collection, it can't all be just that one change of hey. Oh, anyway, if you haven't seen the second one, just like come back in, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Like mute us and I'll do like the thing. I'll wave my arms like a crazy person and you can enjoy it. If you don't care, the second one's good. I enjoyed it. You have a different opinion of it. Uh,
like okay,
but we could
so
we'll
I liked it.
let's
I
set
liked
up
it for
what
the
it
fact that
is.
it's T'Challa as Star Lord,
Mm-hmm.
which like I wasn't opposed to it. I was never opposed to him being Star Lord. I and like all respect to Chadwick Boseman's last role as T'Challa.
Yeah.
He did a great T'Challa in this as well. I just did not like the episode as a whole.
Mm-hmm. And there's one kind of specific reason.
Yeah, because like, so in the episode, we get a bombshell nebula, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Um, am like, am I kind of bothered that she didn't kind of stick to more villainous ways? Yes.
Well, the whole thing was like he's made it so none of them stick to more villainous ways.
Yeah, and like for me personally, I don't think the Black Panther or T'Challa as a person has that much sway over people.
I think it's like the difference of like Peter Quill had that kind of sway with Yandu, but he never like he's also wasn't that character that gave a shit
Mm,
about like these things. He was absolutely an outlaw, whereas T'Challa like has always been like that for the betterment of like everyone kind of person.
yeah, but like he didn't really get that way until the end of the Black Panther movie.
Sure, but like I'm willing to suspend my disbelief that far. You know what I
I
mean?
can't
Yeah. I mean
because like
that's how much you're gonna enjoy these what ifs. It's like I'm willing to suspend my disbelief to a larger point because I know it is a what if story, and already he's not the same person because he ran off into the field and like got kidnapped by space
kidnapped.
people.
Yeah,
Like so, it's already different. I'm willing to like expect that it's different enough that this makes
everywhere
sense.
else. Yeah,
You know?
like I don't know. For me, the whole Marvel universe, the cinematic universe, Thanos was very much like in the comics. Yeah, the cause was different, but they were very much like where it's like nothing is going to dissuade me from this cause.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill half of everything in the universe and do whatever the fuck it takes.
Hmm.
And nothing in my repertoire says, okay, Black Panther can't talk Thanos out of doing this.
Yeah, I agree. But that's again, in my mind, that's like main universe Thanos, and this is different enough that like I'm willing to like because here's my thing. If you take it as Thanos is, hey, I want the universe to succeed. Like if you take it at this baseline, I want the universe to succeed. The best way I can think of for it to
Is
succeed
to kill half of everything.
is to genocide half of all people. And it's like, okay. If I think if you came to like Thanos, if we were characterizing Thanos as that character, right? He
Mm-hmm.
is he would be like, if you came to him with like a argument that
Makes
you
sense.
makes sense, I think he would be willing to go, okay.
But like they kept, he
They
kept
kept a
saying it
lot
in
of
the
the
episode.
characterization. He
They
believes in his thing. He thinks there's
he,
merits to his idea.
yeah, he still believes in his idea, and all of them made the jokes about it with it. That's just genocide, my man.
I was shocked when
But
he showed up.
and then they also made it a point to not tell him that T'Challa went to get the Power Stone.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so he clearly did not have that much sway over Thanos.
Yeah.
And I don't like it was a very cool episode. As a whole, me
You
not
couldn't
being
get
able to turn
over it.
off, I couldn't get over it.
Yeah. I think it's fair.
And then I also couldn't see the Collector being that power broker boss.
Yeah. I was surprised by that too.
Because like I can't see him as a man who gets his hands dirty.
Yeah. Again, though, like I agree with you. My whole thought process for this from that like from the beginning is everything's gonna be different. There are more changes going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If we treat it like a universe, then there are more changes going on behind the scenes, and it's not just because, hey, T'Challa is Star-Lord. Right?
Yeah, but like and I think that's something that I have to like get in my head more because the whole time watching like these characters come out of the woodwork, whatever, I was like, how the hell did you end up here?
Yeah.
Like Thanos' Black Order. How did they become security?
Didn't make
Like
sense.
like Proxima Midnight was the head of security, and the rest of them were like the bodyguards. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like you, all 4 or 5 of you are the most deadly people in the universe, and now your salary?
Yeah.
Are you guys union?
Unionized? Good for you.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I can totally see how that like because it was really fucking jarring when he showed up. I was like, what the fuck? And I think it's meant to be like a shocking moment because of course it is.
yeah,
You know? But
and
like
I would just like more
at that point I was
explanation.
just like, okay, Thanos is part of the team. I
Yeah.
was just like, good enough. Thanos is part of the team. I'll accept it.
Yeah, and then
You know?
that's pretty much it. I think the next episode we're gonna be getting is Bro Thor.
I actually don't know what that is.
It's like the party Thor where he never got over that phase.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I call him Bro Thor because he looks like a bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for the Marvel Zombies episode. Mostly, that's the one I'm most
Hmm
excited for.
I'm excited about it because in the trailers it looks like they're gonna have like an Avengers episode
Yeah,
with Captain Carter and then T'Challa as Star Lord, and then Party Thor and a few other characters. I believe it was like a Thanos Gamora.
yeah.
I'm excited to see that. That is my most excited episode because I want to see how they come together.
I think they also have one where Ultron gets the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, Ultron wins.
I think I'm pretty excited for that. I'm more excited to get to like the ones, and I was saying this to Ion after we watched it. I like the ones where it's like, hey, what if this character was this character, right? But I'm more excited for the hey, what if this happened to this character?
Yeah, I know
Like,
there's another one. I think okay, so I think that either the next episode is going to be Party Thor or Loki wins,
yeah, or Loki.
which like
Yeah,
when he like
the
I think it's
Loki
going to be when he
invasion one.
takes over. Yeah,
Uh,
from the first Avengers movie.
yeah. Pink Trash says the Loki invasion one is next. So
Okay, thank you, Justin.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I'll wait. If you haven't, if you fucking haven't watched it, you can come back now.
Yeah, he did the thing. He did
I
the
did the
thing. Come
thing.
back. That's the signal.
I don't care if I look stupid. I shaved my head. I already look stupid.
Yeah, he's Lex Luthor.
I'm Lex Luthor now.
Yeah, he'll probably kill us all within a matter of days.
within a matter of days. I got way smarter when I shaved my head. So all the air gets to my brain now, and I can think better.
He became a fifth level intellect,
I'm gonna
and
think bigger now.
will now cure cancer just for shits and giggles and not tell anybody.
I'm gonna cure cancer for shits and giggles.
Which is something Lex Luthor did in the comics.
But mostly shits.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But there was something I saw on TikTok where it was the Joker and it was some dude acting out the Joker and Lex Luthor going over like their most heinous acts. And then Lex Luthor being, "Oh, I cured cancer for shits and giggles. I cured my sister's paralysis and then gave it back to her." And then, this Joker being like, "Oh, I killed a kid with a crowbar." Um, and then like just like doing other shit like that. And then Black Manta. Yeah, I trapped Aquaman's son in a bubble, and and then when Aquaman escaped, I killed his son in front of him. It's like I forget the creator
What is this
who put that
story?
on TikTok.
That's so
Uh,
funny.
I have to do better. Next week, I'm gonna come in with a list of names from TikTok creators.
Yeah, comic TikTok. Comic TikTok is pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here and there on TikTok. I enjoy like just doom scrolling through there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the comic book creators are always like pretty fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. Now on to a topic that I don't see the big hoopla about
Mm-hmm.
because it's very much it's not that I don't care from my point of view. It's more like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Tim Drake is now bi.
yeah, yeah. This was spoiled for me before I read the issue. It's I believe it's uh, I gotta go into my box. I got a box for my comics now
Mm,
because I was like, I can't keep just having people living on. Uh, Batman Urban Legends number 6. Hello?
yep.
Your camera went out. Yeah, it was Batman Urban Legends number 6. And Tim Drake, like I kind of saw this one coming from the start of this Batman Urban Legends story starring Tim Drake,
Mm,
because it was kind of like Tim Drake's hanging out with, then they call him like he's like I'm hanging out with my friend, and like, but it seems like a date,
yeah.
right? But then it's like they never say it is, and like as far as we know, Tim Drake is straight. And then it's like, they go through this thing. His friend gets kidnapped, and like Tim Drake's like really fucking upset.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
really
then
distraught. Like, and it's like, oh, okay. And then he comes out as bi at the end, and he's like, he
yeah.
asks him on like a date, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. That makes sense for Tim Drake.
Yeah, because like I saw a creator pointed out where like his best friend was Superboy, who was always like kind of almost shirtless during every fight,
Yeah,
and like the lengths he went to bring Superboy back. It's like, okay, yes, you can be a really good friend and do that, but also there has to be something a little bit deeper than that.
yeah, sure. I mean, like the way I see it, it's like, why not?
Yeah,
There's like mutterings coming out that they're gonna say that Jonathan Kent is gay, and it's like that fine, why not?
yeah, and
And like it's like great.
yeah,
My only concern is that most like the conservative media is gonna go like, hey, um,
Superman's gay.
Superman's gay now, and it's gonna be like, what? Because no one knows that Jonathan Kent is Superman now.
Yeah,
Outside of like you know this ecosystem that we have here, no one's reading about how Jonathan Kent is Superman now. Like the average viewer thinks Clark Kent's Superman.
yeah,
So it's gonna like make a bunch of people like get fucking ragey for no reason and like pissed off and like
It's just so stupid.
it's really stupid. But like I'm like, Tim Drake being bi, I'm Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. I said it multiple times. Like Tim
Yeah,
Drake, fucking. I was just rereading Teen Titans by Jeff Johns because like I fucking love it.
yeah. Why not?
It's like it's my happy place.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm rereading it, and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing in here that like would either way,
Hmm.
you know, like great,
Yeah, I'm very
I can't
much.
imagine having a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm very much in the camp of like, okay, and like,
Yeah,
so I genuinely do not get the problem people are having with this change.
yeah, I haven't. To be fair, I actually haven't seen anyone be like, "Oh, that's fucking fuck you." Like I actually haven't seen that, and I'm
Hmm.
surprised I haven't seen it because I'm delightfully surprised that I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen some on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of one of those things where it's like if they said that, let me put it this way, even if they said that Tim Drake was gay, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
sure. Like I mean, Tim Drake dated
Stephanie Brown.
Stephanie Brown for years, but also like it always seemed like their relationship was not going awesome.
Anywhere.
Yeah, it also seemed like because when I remember I messaged you, I'm like, oh, it seems like Tim Drake is just gay now, and you're like, no, he's bi. And I'm like, I don't know, it feels kind of ambiguous, but like they've since come out and like said in interviews,
Yeah,
and I'm like, because like I would be like, either way, it makes sense to me.
yeah, and
He seems happy,
another one.
like that's the
Yeah,
thing. He seems like
and
way
then
happier.
another character who's come out. Well, not yet because she's still too young in the comics currently.
Mm-hmm.
But Future State, Aquaman and Mira's daughter is gay,
Yeah,
and like she's in a relationship with the new Flash that's going to be coming out
the
soon-ish.
non-binary Flash. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they're together.
yeah. Here's my opinion on all like LGBTQ plus whatever the acronym is now because it keeps fucking changing. Um, it's all good as long as it makes sense for the character and it's done well. It's all good, even if it's done even if like you change characters like shit that's been around for years. Like people are fluid; they're not like
Yeah,
constant. So like I don't, you're gonna upset someone, upset the bigots.
yeah, because
That's my opinion on it. It's always upset the bigots if you're gonna upset anyone.
yeah, the change in comics is really good because it just opens the door to more writing.
Yeah, it opens the door to more writing, and like it's more like anytime comics get more inclusive, it's more people I get to talk with comics about.
Yeah,
Like
because you'll get like the queer youth or whatever
yeah,
when they read that this person's gay, this person's bi, whatever, they get interested in the comics,
like
and then it
oh
just like you said, it opens the door for more people to get into comics.
yeah, because like I mean, comics for a long time haven't been like a you know male only thing, but
Yeah.
they're always viewed that way. Like they're viewed heavily that way. A lot of nerd culture is like, and so I'm happy when like I can introduce like my girlfriend or my sister to like things that they'll enjoy. Like I'm happy that like I can like point to characters and be like, there's representation here,
Hmm.
and it's positive representation with like you have awesome fucking characters that resemble you in some way,
Yeah.
right? Like I know we talked about this on the podcast before. For you, Miles Morales as Spider-Man was super fucking cool.
Yeah, because he's the Afro Latino. He's Puerto Rican and black.
Yeah, and like you're like, oh, okay, cool, someone who looks like me.
Well,
right?
not like me,
Well,
but
you
yeah.
know what I mean. Like it's like I I I can I can see myself to some degree in that character.
Yeah, I can relate more to the character.
Yeah. So it's like it's important, right?
Yeah.
It's important. I'm always happy about it. I think like, when it comes up, we'll talk about it, but like overall like I think the opinion is always it's good.
Yeah.
Like if it's done like poorly ever, like I mean, I can't think of a time where it's been done super poorly.
Hmm.
You know, like
And
where it's like,
nothing pops up off the top of my head either.
yeah, it's like, you know, so yeah, Robin's bi now, and Superman might be gay in coming weeks.
Yeah, but who cares?
Who cares? Uh, let's talk about speaking of Superman. Let's just talk about Son of Kal El. What we know is coming up
Yep, issue number 2.
because there have been a lot of previews for the next
I
couple
haven't
issues.
seen any.
Okay, we'll just talk about. Have you seen? You haven't seen previews for issue number 2 at
I
all?
have not.
Oh, okay. Well, we know he's getting his secret identity.
Okay, this is news to me. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I won't spoil it more than that. We know he's getting a secret identity, which is an exciting thing
Hmm.
because Jonathan Kent is never needed.
Yeah, because he's never.
He was too young before,
Yeah.
and now that he's Superman, like everyone knows who he is in relation to Superman,
Yep.
and everyone knows Clark Kent is Superman.
Yep. And then now, by extension, everybody knows Jonathan Kent is his son.
Yeah, so it's like he can never be Jonathan Kent and
He
not
has to make a whole
be
new
yeah.
identity.
There's a
Um,
whole lot of thing that came with that.
and I think this is something that Robin had mentioned in issue number 1, where he's like, "Yeah, we can do this for you."
Yeah, it's like it'd be very easy. It's like yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to issue number 2. And I'm not like spoiling anything for myself because I want to read it as it's coming in front of me.
Yes.
Because this is something that I'm like I said before, I'm like me and you are both very excited about.
Yeah.
Tom Taylor, we are Tom Taylor shills.
I'm gonna get a shirt that says Tom Taylor Shill
Um,
for the
and
podcast. I'm gonna wear it all the time because it's
and
like
like his writing is just really great in this.
it
And
resonates.
it showed in issue number 1.
Yeah.
And I can't see it not continuing in the issues that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Um, and speaking of Tom Taylor,
Yes. Let's talk about Nightwing. I know you're about to
okay,
switch to something else, but uh, I brought up Son of Kal-El because in the first arc of Nightwing, at the end of the first arc of Nightwing, which we have brought up a couple times, I think we'll talk about the first arc as a whole because it's out now. It's been out
hmm
for a week. If you want to read it, please do. We'll try not to over ruin it, I guess, but we're
yeah,
gonna
we'll
talk.
we'll not we'll try not to heavily dump
Yeah,
information about the arc.
yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna touch on the big things, but like you have to, if you are at all interested in Dick Grayson, Nightwing as a character, this is the best Nightwing story I've ever read.
Hmm.
Like it's not even close, and it's because Tom Taylor knows how to write his fucking characters. But I brought up Son of Kal-El not only because we're very excited about it, but because in the last issue of Nightwing, Superman says to Nightwing he's going off world, and
And to look out for Jonathan.
he wants Nightwing to mentor Jonathan,
Hmm.
and it's like I can see these characters because again they're both written by Tom Taylor, both of these series. It would be very easy for him to interweave them without stepping on any
Yeah.
toes because they're his toes, right?
Hmm.
Um, so reading that, I was super excited.
Yeah, when I read it in the end of the Nightwing issue, uh, it very much felt like Superman Clark Kent did pass the torch to Jonathan
Yeah,
as like, yeah, you're the Superman of Earth now.
you need help.
But that issue of Nightwing also felt like another passing the torch because Superman was a mentor. Clark Kent was a mentor to Nightwing.
Yeah,
Like that, Superman is the reason why Nightwing picked his name,
yeah.
Nightwing.
And they brought that up in like the thing, which I thought was a really nice touch because I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, it was a Kryptonian folklore myth or whatever you want to call it.
It's Nightwing and Firebird.
Yeah, or Flamebird, as I like to say.
Is it Flamebird? I actually don't know. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
we went through this last time.
I'm gonna look it up again.
Um, Flamebird, Firebird, either
Whatever.
or. It's flame and bird.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it is Flamebird. You're right.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so they brought it up again, and it very much was like, okay, I helped mentor you into me and Bruce mentored you into the person you are right now. Do your best to mentor my son Jonathan.
yeah. I think that's an interesting point because anytime if you ever look at Nightwing, he resembles in terms of his character, like, and I say character not like the it's a written person, but like his characters and like his internal moral structure and whatnot. He
Hmm.
resembles Clark Kent a lot more than he does Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, because it very much is the dichotomy of how Superman teaches and then how Batman teaches.
Hmm.
Like for instance, when Bruce was gone, Nightwing didn't get a choice of the mantle.
Yeah,
Like the mantle was forced onto him.
yeah.
Where very much with Superman with the mantle of Nightwing, it was very much you can choose this if you want. I'm not going to
It's,
force you into anything.
yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Um.
I think it speaks a lot because Superman for a long time didn't have, and he's never had like a sidekick really.
Hmm.
You know, like even his son is not his sidekick. Really, they don't like go out and like patrol together. Or
Yeah.
they didn't like he would do. They would train like together, like on the farm. You know,
Yeah. And they would have fun together.
yeah, he's like a mentor, but he's not like, hey, you're a superhero now. You gotta like come work with me. Dick Grayson for a long time was like the only like young person that Superman knew as Superman.
Hmm.
And so like obviously like to take on a mentorship role, it would be Dick Grayson.
Yep.
So it all makes like it just makes a lot of sense that
And
these
that
two would have a close like uh
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah, and I think it was solidified with it was either a Nightwing annual or a Superman annual where they came together to fight Doctor Dream, Doctor Sleep.
Are you talking about the one where he goes into like his memories or something? Are you talking about like
No,
that like re-meeting during Rebirth or
I believe so, but like they went in, they hooked themselves up to a machine to fight Doctor Sleep.
I don't
Like
think they were
the
I don't think they were fighting anyone. I think he was just like, "He, this is like this is how
no, they
I
were
know
fighting
you."
someone.
Was that a combat thing?
Yeah,
I don't remember that being I remember that as like, "Hey, I just want to show you something." Like the
no,
Nightwing that I knew was this person. I just wanted to share this with you.
no, it was very much to fight Doctor Sleep.
Hmm.
But like the crux of that comic was like, hey, I'm Superman. I'm the Superman you've always known, and then they kind of reconciled with you're always the Nightwing that I've known. You just have to get used to me because I'm not the new 52 Superman.
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, Dick Grayson is like the heart of the DC universe."
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, the Dick Grayson fist bump is like the star on
Yeah.
your chest that makes you good for everybody.
That fucking that issue of Nightwing is just let me see, did I away yet? But let's shift to like just talk about the first like Ark of Nightwing, what came out of it.
Yeah, so
Right?
first arc of Nightwing, he's back in Bloodhaven.
He's back in Bloodhaven. Alfred has left him billions of dollars
Yeah.
that he doesn't know what to do with. It was actually like a really heart wrenching scene where he's reading this note from Alfred and he's like, "You're my son. I love you. If you're reading this, I'm sorry for the burden that is about to be placed on you." Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have been getting paid out by like the Wayne Trust for years. I've been paid in stock and a bunch of things, and I put my money in the right places, and it has accrued to. Alfred was a billionaire. Like,
He was a billionaire working for a billionaire.
yeah, working for a bit. Like, he was a billionaire butler. Like, it's you know, and nobody knew this before it because it wasn't a thing before, but like it makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense that Alfred would have been compensated in like this kind of way. And like
Yeah.
Alfred is a smart guy, he knows where to put the money to make more money,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I'm like, okay, sure, I buy that. And then the fact that he would give it to Dick Grayson makes perfect fucking sense. Dick Grayson is like a son to him.
Yeah. He was the first that he helped raise after Bruce.
Yeah. Like Nightwing in that ending in that issue he says, I have my two dads, the brooding one and like the one who brings me cookies. Like
Yeah, because like it was very much. I see the relationship between Alfred and Dick Grayson as Alfred kind of let Bruce stew in the brooding
mhm.
because he didn't know how to help a grieving child.
Yeah.
And then with Dick Grayson, he was kind of awarded not redemption in raising Bruce, but raising him
A different path.
better.
Yeah.
Like not doing the things he did with Bruce, and in hopes that Dick Grayson came out better than Bruce, which he did.
Yeah. And so you have like Dick Grayson, living in this building that he bought a while ago.
Hmm.
I guess he's owned this building for a long time where it's like it's a bunch of apartments, but he like, he it looks like a regular like brownstone,
Hmm.
but it's huge. Um and Barbara Gordon comes in, she's there to kind of help him deal with all the stuff. She's actually the one who delivers the letter from like Alfred's
Alfred.
will. Um Telling him that he's a billionaire, and she's like dealing with. They seem to be like they're kind of. It it feels like they're just a couple now, right?
Yeah.
Like especially at the end of like this issue, like it seems like we're not gonna do like the whole um love triangle thing.
Hmm.
That's the feeling that I got. It seems like hey, we're together. She kisses him like it's like she's there for him.
Yeah, which I hope they keep
I hope they stop
because
doing this. Like Nightwing is sleeping with like
this
these
person,
two
that
women
person.
and it's causing them both like dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it doesn't make sense for the character to me. Like cuz
Yeah.
it's
I'm,
like
I'm very.
if you're in a poly relationship fine, but like it doesn't seem like that's what any of them want.
Yeah, and it's very much like I'm very much looking forward to just a Batgirl and Nightwing being
Yeah.
together.
It you know what? Like the thing is I was kind of like taken aback when it popped up in what's it called? Death Metal.
Hmm.
I was
When they
like
got married under the tree.
when were they like what's going on? Because I'm assuming it's something that happened in Batgirl, like in the
Hmm.
comics, like in the Batgirl like series,
Yeah.
like because I'd never seen it. I was like, what's going on? Are they like were they a thing at some point like recently? But it makes a lot of sense to me. Like it wasn't like what's happening, like why are they like together? It's like I didn't know they were together.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, but you over the course of this uh first arc of what I hope is the beginning of a very long run um of Nightwing, because it's what is it, bi-weekly? It's every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
I hope I hope it's lasts for a couple years. Uh,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this bright new future for Nightwing.
yeah, but what we see is Dick Grayson starting to think bigger than his impact as Nightwing, and start
Yeah,
to kind
and
of think of what he can do as Dick Grayson, which is something we saw Bruce Wayne doing at the end of um, whose run? Tom King's run. Tim King. Tom King.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of Tom King's run, we saw like Bruce Wayne trying to rebuild Gotham, trying to like
Hmm.
be like, Alfred's dead. What can I do? How can I be a better Batman? And his answer was like, I can try to rebuild Gotham, and it didn't work because Bruce Wayne is doesn't know what people need.
Yeah, he's very much out of step with people.
He's flawed. He's an incredibly flawed character, and it makes sense that it wouldn't work because the average billionaire doesn't know what the average person needs.
Hmm.
It's fine. Tim, not Tim Drake. Dick Grayson has always been like the people's hero.
Yeah,
Not,
for
like,
out of the Bat family and
yeah,
in the DC universe.
Bloodhaven loves Dick Grayson, loves Nightwing.
Hmm.
It's not the same relationship that they have with
Batman.
Batman, like in Gotham. Uh, and he's always been like the kind of character that I think what best showed who Dick Grayson is he got $1 billion, right? And one of the first things he did was buy pizza for every homeless person that he ran into.
In
Like,
Bloodhaven, yeah.
yeah, like a homeless guy and his kid uh came up and were like, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. We don't have any money. Could you spare? Like, we're just hungry." And he's like, "Oh, you're hungry?" And it's like, "Oh,
I have money.
he kind of clicks with him. He's like, "Oh, I have infinite cash on." Like,
Hmm.
like, so he goes and he's like, "Hey, go grab everyone that you know, like everyone that you know that's hungry, like, or everyone that you know in general." Like, it's like, I'll dinner's on me. Like, and like he tries to
Hmm.
set them up with a thing and like
Hotel.
a hotel and like a situation like to like live until like they can figure out whatever's going on, right? And like to me, that's exactly who Dick Grayson is as a character,
Hmm.
right? Given the means to help people, he's going to help people. Like it's quintessentially Dick Grayson.
Hmm.
And then you see throughout like the rest of it, like there's a villain in this like called he's like stealing people's hearts.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's that important to this first
No, he's gonna be
arc.
at the end of issue number 83.
Yeah,
You see him sitting down with a wall just filled with hearts.
yeah, and he's like he's stealing people's hearts, but we won't get into that because I feel like that's something you can read these issues for. It's cool, it's interesting. Not the most important thing that happens in the first arc. What's important to
No,
know is
but
that he calls in Tim Drake because he needs help, and he
hmm
calls in like these people because he needs help. He's calling on the people in his life that he trusts and he knows, and he doesn't call Batman. uh,
I also feel like it's because he wants to surprise Batman as well.
I think it's what he says to Superman. He's like, he'll try to talk me out of it to do something different.
Hmm.
He believes that um, Batman, like, so Dick Grayson is setting up this thing because he realizes he can do more, right? And he ends up calling not Batman but Superman to talk about it, which is the conversation that we talked about where Superman's asking him to like watch out for Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman's like, I think it's a great idea. Like, uh, why didn't you call Bruce? And it's because
He's like, "Have you spoken to Bruce?" He's like, "No, I'm worried because he'll talk me out of it. He's persuasive and judgmental, and often infuriatingly right."
yeah, what especially what he actually says is like what Superman says to it's like uh he believes in you beyond a shadow of a doubt. Honestly, we all do. And he respects you, call him. And Nightwing goes, can I just text him?
Yeah, and then Superman, like in the very next panel, he's like,
He's
"For a
laughing his
man
ass off.
who faced Darkseid, death stares him in the eye on a daily basis. Could do that on a daily basis. He will do anything to avoid a conversation."
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. And Superman says how much he looked up to Alfred. And it's like, fuck. That that tells you exactly who Alfred is. Like
Yeah, to the
he's
DC universe as a whole.
yeah. It's like it's why it's and it's because Tom Taylor knows like one of the things that he did in Injustice that like was the most heart wrenching wasn't like killing off all these heroes. Like heroes die all the time and they come back. It was killing Alfred.
Yep,
Like killing Alfred is the thing that like shows you how evil Superman became.
yep,
Like in
yeah. He
Injustice.
had Victor Zsasz do it too.
Yeah. So, like it anyway, what we're getting at here is Dick Grayson is setting like goes and he talks to everyone that he knows. Like all who does he go to? He goes to Superman.
He goes to
He
the Teen
goes to
Titans.
Teen Titans. He goes to Leslie Tompkins, who runs a free clinic. He goes to Lucius Fox
Lucius. Yep.
for some of like the putting the money in the right places. He says he goes to people who have devoted their lives to helping outside the system, people I love, and experts. Um, so like he goes to them and he goes to Superman. He goes to people that he respects and he knows will help him do the right thing because he knows that he can't do it alone.
Yep.
And he ends up setting up a foundation to help people. He's putting all of his money
Into
like
the people of Bloodhaven.
into the people of Bloodhaven. He's like it starts here. Today we begin working on public and affordable housing, access to employment, prisoner rehabilitation, free renewable energy, public transport, healthcare, and a guaranteed living wage. And it's like, holy fuck.
Yep.
Like it's like because it's like, yeah, that's what you would want like anyone who became a billionaire like just randomly to do.
To do.
It's what you want the billionaires to do right now. Like right? Like help people.
Yep.
And he's
And
like, it starts in Bloodhaven. Uh, it's gonna go beyond.
and
We're gonna
then
make the people that prey on this city obsolete.
yeah, and then he ends the what with the press conference by announcing the name of the foundation, which you said that you teared up at.
I did.
I definitely felt the emotions where he announced it being called the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation.
Like the entire yeah, which is it's the best thing could have done because I think it's important to remember when they named the hospital after Alfred in Gotham. There was a ceremony. Dick Grayson wasn't Dick Grayson at that point.
Yeah, he was Rick.
He was Rick. He didn't remember Alfred. He didn't remember any of that. So one of the things that Dick Grayson has also been dealing with is like he wasn't there when Alfred died. He wasn't himself.
Yeah,
Like the last thing he said to Alfred was he was like kind of yelling at him because he was a
he
random
didn't know him.
old guy who he didn't know that was like trying to force him to do things that he didn't want to do. So there's like a level of guilt and love and
And
respect
regret.
and regret. Like so like just this entire speech like had me like goosebumps. Like it's awesome because it's like Dick Grayson is like a character that I admire.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? And you rarely see that, I think, in comics. Characters that you truly admire, like beyond the fact that they're superheroes.
Hmm.
Like it's like if Dick Grayson was a real person, I would admire Dick Grayson as a person.
Yeah, like Dick Grayson as a person and as a character,
Yeah.
he's very much the person that you would want to be friends with
Yeah.
and would go out of your way to be friends with them.
Yeah. It's something you aspire to, you know what I mean? And I thought it was a really nice touch. They have like the Bat family group chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at the panel right now
It's so good.
where, with Steph, saying just like, wow, Jason, uh, being who he is, like, before you give it all away, don't forget you owe me $20.
Yeah.
And then Damien was not that it's a competition, but you win. And then he gets a call from Bruce,
Yeah.
which was like the nail in the coffin for me for the feelings, because it was like they had just touched on how Bruce doesn't like to conversate or to address his feelings.
Yeah.
And then Dick like immediately is like, "You don't usually call." And then Batman just responds with, I know, I'm sorry, but you honored him today."
Yeah.
And he
Batman is tearing up. You can tell. Like he's wearing the
yeah,
cowl, but
he's holding a picture of I'm assuming
that's him and
it's
Alfred.
Bruce and Alfred.
Yeah. I it could be honestly, it could be Dick and Alfred, but I'm assuming it's Bruce and Alfred.
Yeah.
I honestly, it's funny because it looks the depiction of Bruce here looks a lot like David Mazouz, who plays Bruce Wayne in Gotham.
Hmm.
Like it's like splitting image of him. So I have to imagine it's
I
uh
also I
Bruce and
also
Alfred.
think that it could be interpreted as either or.
Sure.
Um, you know, because I honestly am not sure, because Alfred
Oh
has always had black hair.
no, Alfred doesn't have black hair.
Did he not?
No, Alfred was like had like, but here's the thing: Alfred looks much younger than this.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Than
yeah.
that. Now that I'm looking at it, like I actually just looked. I was looking at like the Bruce of it all, but when you look at Alfred, it's like Alfred's so young
Yeah, so
in the
that
depiction.
it very much Bruce.
It's probably Bruce. But that yeah, like that's like the big thing that's coming out of this first um issue. And there's don't get me wrong, we talked a lot about the Dick Grayson of it all. There's a lot of Nightwing stuff too in here. Like it's not just hey, Dick Grayson does all this stuff out of costume and
Yeah.
he's a good guy and we're like cuz to be honest, for me that was the most interesting stuff.
Hmm.
But there's also a whole Nightwing thing where he's doing all this cool shit. We find out that his I mean, I'm
Half
not
sister.
I'm not going to show you the page. Yeah, we found out he has a half sister, but I'm not going to show you the page. But the coolest fucking thing where I went, oh my god, like I was like, oh shit, verbally out loud, and I'm sitting here alone. Um, is he turns his like lacrima sticks, you know, like the thing he fights with,
Into a trapeze.
into a trapeze. I lost my fucking mind. I was like, that's so cool for this character to have that in there. It makes so much sense.
Hmm.
Like for Dick Grayson to use it like that. I don't know. It blew my mind.
Um, yeah, no, I'm very much a fan of this Nightwing run.
Yeah.
And
I
I can't wait for the second arc to kick off.
yeah. Because what they're talking about, like, I started following Tom Taylor on Twitter, and
Hmm.
he talks a lot about it. It's like the things that we are doing for 86 are insane. Like you'll hear him like he'll like talk about it. It's like the stuff that we have planned for like certain issues are crazy, and I'm like, fuck. I know it's true because it's him saying it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There are a few writers that I will sight unseen read whatever they make. Tom
And
Taylor is
Tom
one of them.
Taylor is, yeah.
We've talked about it many times. Tom Taylor and his
And then
characters. So much
uh
so that they're giving him a little something. But first, say what you're going to say. You want to talk about his sister a little bit?
no, like, yeah, we got introduced to his sister. I was actually going to lead into what
Uh,
we have both been talking about for the past 2 weeks,
the
where
most
it's like,
exciting announcement
at least for us, because we're
for
Tom
us,
Taylor
because
shills.
we're Tom Taylor shills.
Because me and Alex have been trying to guess what DOCS meant.
DKOS. It was called
Yeah,
DC DKOS, and the DC is self-explanatory
yeah, DC
because it's a
Comics.
DC Comics. But the DKOS was a hashtag on a bunch of shit. The last episode that we had, we were actually talking about it because it was the first time it was teased. It was teased a week before like they actually announced what it was. And if
Hmm.
we had had an episode last week, it probably would have been heavily us just talking about that for a solid hour, probably.
Probably.
Probably. It probably is about to be us talking about that for like a
Um,
solid hour. It's crazy.
but we got the name, and like me and you the whole week were just like day by day when we were getting the updates, just texting each other.
Yeah.
And then we got the announcement
Our
of.
text check. Wait. Let's go back and like see what we thought it might have been, real quick
Go ahead.
before we announce it. I
Yeah, I
want to
can't. I
just
can't.
throw some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. 1 sec. Do you remember any of them that you said? Because
I
we're
don't remember. I believe either I or you said the actual title.
yeah, we definitely said like something very close. Here's the thing. He said it wasn't a Batman comic.
Yeah. Oh, and then we were like Dark Knights of Superman.
Yeah, we were saying like Dark Knight stuff. Like we said it with Dark Knights because easy, right? It's like, oh, obviously it's something like Dark Knights, but he said not Batman, so we were like, what the fuck could it be? And I said, maybe it's a New Gods series, like something
Hmm.
like that. Like it seemed like he posted a picture of the sun, uh, that said gods are born and gods are killed, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh yeah, and then I had said that it could be a reintroduction of the new gods,
Yeah, and I was
like
like, that makes sense.
Orion, High Father, and stuff like that, because we haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, and then he did one that said, "They are not like us; they are demons." And I was like, "Is it Demon Knights of Seattle?" Because Demon Knights is a thing, and
Hmm.
he said that Constantine was in it. So I was like, Constantine would make sense for this. Um, I don't know. And it's like, and then he said Fire and Blood, and he's like, and I was like, this motherfucker's playing games. Like, it seems like it's gonna be a Justice League Dark kind of thing. Uh, it's like what? What could it be?
Yeah, and then like the next day we got the announcement, Dark Knights of Steel.
And it's a fantasy reimagining of the DC universe.
Yeah, and like I think one of the still images is Superman with like a D&D character sheet.
Yeah, it's that. And
Yep,
I'm like, I already said this to you. I'm getting every alternative cover for this.
because they're gonna be beautiful.
I'm gonna buy every issue. I'm gonna buy 7 comics. Like, which is I would not do it for anything else. But I'm so excited because I think I don't know if we mentioned this, but we both love D&D.
Yeah.
We're both like real big D&D people. I'm a DM. like you love to play a lot. You're in like a couple games, right?
Yeah, I was involved in a few games. Currently, a few of the games I'm in hiatus for
Mm.
one reason or another. The longest campaign that is currently still there, I've been a part of for the past,
Been 3 years,
I
right?
want to say 3 or 4 years. I've been part of a consistent
Are you
campaign
talking
with the
about
same people.
Boris's?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like fuck. You know how long that's been going on? It's been 5 years that that campaign's been going on. I don't know how long you've been a part of it, but I
I
remember
believe I've
I,
been part of that campaign since almost the beginning.
I was I was part of the initial like sessions of that campaign, and then my character got wiped from existence because Boris gave a depressed character an out. He was like his whole thing was like there's a gem, and like if you do you want to like exist, and it's like no. And then he's like, well, your character's gone forever, and I'm like, okay, it's what he wanted. He didn't want to die, he just didn't want to exist. Like
Yeah.
I had told Boris that before the campaign, and he gave me that out, and I was like, well, I mean, fuck. I gotta take it. uh but anyway, we're both big D&D fans. It seems like um Tom Taylor is also a big
A big D&D fan,
D&D
yeah.
fan. He said let me find exactly how he what he said about it. Oh my god. I why are you doing this right now? Sorry. uh okay. I'll just look it up here. He said something along the lines of this is for all the D&D um high fantasy Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah, and I couldn't have been more excited at this
Like
announcement.
I didn't know. I was like, they got to be. I think what I said before it was announced was, it's like it sounds so big. It's something that's been working on for the past 3 years, is what it said. I
Yeah,
think with
I
like
think he
this
said 2 or 3 years.
with like this amazing team. Like the people, the other people involved are also like incredible.
Hmm.
Um. So again, I want I want to like mention them because it's not just Tom Taylor. It's like this amazing group of people. Um. But
Yeah, it's
they got to be giving
DC's
them a
new
world.
alternate reality with Tom Taylor and Yasmin Putri.
This beautiful art.
Um, yeah, the art is done by Yasmin Putri. And I can't wait to see it. The Victorian kind of like vibe that it's gonna be bringing.
Yeah.
Um,
It
just seeing like I'm looking at the cover for issue number one,
the
issue one of 12.
that's so exciting. I hope it's you know I don't say this often. I hope it's monthly.
I'm looking at
It's
the,
gotta
the
be.
the post about it. They have like Batman on the back of
Yeah.
his steed.
Something else to mention:
Um,
Batman and Superman look young.
yeah, they look very
They
much
look like
like
they're 18, maybe.
uh,
Superman might
yeah.
be
So
younger.
and they also have a Wonder Woman who also looks young.
Yeah, because the whole thing is it's Superman's parents are like king and queen.
We also
They're on
have,
the cover.
I believe I'm looking at Black Adam.
I believe that he's in there. I know Constantine's in there. Harley Quinn is in there as a as a court jester. It seems like
Hmm.
Alfred is like. It seems like he's head knight. Like
Or at least mentored to Bruce.
yeah, it seems like It's the cover just looks so. Here, I'll just share it in like the chat. Um, because I don't have a good way of just putting it up right now. I didn't set anything up. Uh, but here you go. Here in the chat, if you want to see the cover, it's right there. There's the Google links. Uh, the cover looks amazing. It's the again though he threw us a curveball, saying that it wasn't a Batman comic.
Yeah.
He definitely he said that to throw people off because it's not a Batman comic. It's a brand new fucking world, not
Yeah,
centered
I
wholly
also
around Batman.
think it's going to be mainly centered around this medieval Superman.
Yeah, I think it's going to. Well, I mean, it's going to be centered around the royal family, right?
Hmm.
Like, and like Tom Taylor has apparently been talking about this for a while. Like, he's been telling because you see other creators like commenting on this, and it's like I remember when you told me this back in like about this like that you wanted to do back in like 2017 or 2018.
Hmm.
It's like fuck, like what an actual amazing like gift that I mean like it's a gift that DC is giving him. I mean he's at this point given DC some of their most popular comics.
Within the last 5 years.
Yeah, like Tom Taylor has been a absolute rock star. If this fails, it would be the most shocking thing on the planet to me.
Hmm.
You know, like literally, it would be like it would make no sense. And he's also writing Dark Ages for Marvel,
Yeah, he is
which
doing a lot, and I am so happy. And
yeah,
for me, it seems like he's having fun with writing these.
yeah, it's like this seems like what Tom Taylor's been trying to get to write for a while. I remember like I think the good thing is too like you know sometimes you have writers that like they say stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Sometimes you have writers and it's like, well, I'm not going to stop reading, but like, god damn, I don't want to hear your crazy fucking shit. Tom Taylor has like is just like very much active in his social media, and when like fucking people like come out, they're like, it's not going to be super gay, as he's like, it's going to be so gay. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna be so aggressively gay, my friend. You
and his social media presence is heavy, and that's what I really love and hated for that whole week.
you can't get away from like the spoilers if you follow him
because
on
like
Twitter.
because like he was just cock teasing the entire time.
He teased my cock so bad.
And it's like, dude, just give it to me right now, please.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I was getting like kind of annoyed, but I don't know. I'm so fucking excited. I'm so excited because it seems like we're gonna get just no. Let me put it this way: Tom Taylor, given his own universe, like in this capacity, is something we have never seen before, but we've seen glimpses of it
Yeah,
in Deceased and in
injustice
Injustice. We've seen glimpses of what Tom Taylor can do
to a multiverse.
when you give him the reins to just like you can do whatever you want with these characters.
Like creative control for artists in the capacity of, okay, this isn't going to be mainstream, like this isn't going to impact the main DC universe, but you have creative control over this new universe.
Yeah,
I think
they
that's the best thing to give people.
they didn't give him a city. They gave him Nightwing, which is essentially giving him a city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just decides what happens in Bloodhaven.
Hmm.
You know, which is cool. They and now they've given him a a literal universe.
Hmm.
Like I don't know.
Like Tom, and then another thing, like they also gave him the new Superman.
They gave him the new Superman. They trust like Tom Taylor is DC's star like writer right now. Like, and it makes sense. We talk about him a lot. I feel like we should just call this the Tom Taylor podcast, but that would be too limiting.
It would be, but
We
a
could.
lot of the topics are get veered towards Tom Taylor's runs.
It's because what we like to read. It's because he's writing the best shit right now. And that's not to say that there aren't other like great writers and artists out there right now. I'm really enjoying I'm enjoying Infinite Frontier. I'm enjoying Teen Titans Academy.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
enjoying Donny Cates's run on Thor because this is the Thor that like Donny Cates is doing a wonderful work with Thor, bringing him into the role of the All Father,
yeah,
and then also making him Galactus's herald, and just beefing up Thor so much to like because I feel like they've always downplayed Thor as a god.
yeah,
And Donny Cates is bringing that out in the new Thor run.
yeah. I think the important thing is you want your characters to be relevant to something larger or to be like relevant more greatly in their own world. Does that
Yeah,
make
or
sense?
and yeah,
And
and
he
like
does.
also like just embody their character, their character.
Yeah, and
Like
any writer
you
who
could throw
does
in
that
Nightwing,
succeeds.
you could throw in Nightwing in anything, and you could be like, yeah, that's Nightwing. But for 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 Tom Taylor to write Nightwing and Jonathan Kent,
Yeah,
and it feels so intrinsically them
yeah.
is a gift.
The fact that he's writing so many, he's involved in so many different projects right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I brought up Seven Secrets earlier, and that's something completely his own. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's Boom Studio, so it's not like established universe or anything. It's essentially like indie. Like as Boom Studios is not indie, but in terms of what the writings that comes out of it,
Yeah.
um, it's fucking awesome. Like I'm telling you, you gotta read it. Like the Seven Secrets is so great, and if I didn't know it was Tom Taylor, I'd be like, "Who's this fucking amazing writer? What else could I read?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'll shout out a couple different writers. I really liked Joshua Williamson. Uh, I like Tinian. What's his first name? I want to make sure I get this right. Who's writing Batman right now? James Tinian. I like his Batman run. I like his Batman writing style. I even like Tom King when he was writing Batman. I think he wrote Batman really well. He introduced a lot of
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff. Like, there are a lot of great writers out there. Uh,
The Nick Spencer right now, who's currently doing the Amazing Spider-Man run.
yeah. And I'll throw this out there. I love Jorge Jimenez's art. I love his art in Batman and Super Sons.
Mm-hmm.
Back when he was doing that, like,
Chip, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Zdarsky,
mhm.
for Life Story.
Yeah, Life Story was fucking amazing. I love
And
those.
then
I'm so glad you turned me on to that. I can't say it enough because it's like it's so good.
it's a change of pace because one, because rarely in comics do we see the heroes age up.
Yeah,
And Life Story did it in a very drastic but creative way,
yeah.
where each issue was 10 years after the last one.
I think also we rarely see heroes in history, if that makes sense. Like we see them in history, but we don't see them.
Active in the history.
Yeah, like because they were a lot of them were around in the '60s.
Yeah.
Like actually around, but like when you're living in the time, Most people don't like
You
to
don't want
write
you don't
about
want
what's
you
happening.
want to get away from what's happening in the real
Yeah,
world.
there's a lot of escapism, and like I think honestly, uh, there's a little bit there's a part of me that really enjoys, and I think what I really enjoyed about this Nightwing issue, just to bring it back a little bit, like the Nightwing issue that we were reading, just to like talk a little bit about Tom Taylor again because I'm chill.
Hmm.
I think why I like his writing so much is because he doesn't shy away from talking about real world issues or
Hmm.
problems in the capacity of, well, this is always happening. It doesn't mean like it doesn't have to be like the real world. We don't have to be living in like our reality,
United States or bubble,
our
whatever.
United States bubble, like for it to be like, oh, well, yeah, these problems would still exist in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Like it's like homelessness doesn't magically get solved and no one's working on it.
Hmm.
Like all these things like he talk like he doesn't shy away from uh racism, homophobia, transphobia. He doesn't shy away from any of that shit. But he also doesn't. He doesn't. It doesn't need to be like the center of the story for it to be involved in like the world that
Yeah.
he builds, right? Um, I like that it makes the world feel more grounded,
Hmm.
and it makes the characters feel more real because they're dealing with shit that
That anybody would be able to deal
happens.
with.
Yeah, it's like we all know what happens. Like you know, uh, it's not like the world is perfect.
Hmm.
So to build like the DC universe, like it's always superheroes. We love superheroes, and that's all that my all like the things that I have wrong in my life.
Yep.
It's like
And then Tom Taylor just takes it so that he makes us care about the problems that are happening outside of those superhero problems. Like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
the planet is going to be destroyed, whatever, whatever. But there's also a real issue of like the people in Bloodhaven who are starving,
yeah,
who don't know when's the next time they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep that night, and it's taking those issues and bringing them up
yeah,
and addressing them as those like big city level threats.
yeah. And it's like it's more threatening. Pervasive homelessness and like lack of food is infinitely more threatening than some guy being like, I'm going to move the water from here to here, like in
Yeah.
this city. Like, I'm going to do crime in like this small capacity. And it's like, okay, but you know, it's kind of like, why is he doing crime?
Hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it was really telling, like, because the first thing that Nightwing says in that speech at the end of the issue, I know we've just taken it back from DKOS to Nightwing, but like it popped into my head because of what we're talking about. The first thing he says is, we're the first thing we're focusing on is getting all of uh, Bloodhaven's homeless off the streets and into housing by this time next month. And a reporter goes, uh, "That's all well and good, but why are you focusing on this? There are other issues like that these people have beyond just being homeless." And he goes, "It's simple. It's getting colder."
Yep.
And it's like, oh, well, yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Hmm.
Like it feels real, you know? It's like not doing this is more deadly than like not doing this in the right order is more of a problem than trying to do everything at once.
Yeah, because yeah, we can feed them, but if they don't have a place to sleep
They're
after
gonna
we feed
freeze.
them, they're gonna die outside.
Yeah. So I don't know. It gets it gets me just excited.
Yeah, as it should.
Um yeah. Oh. DCDKOS though.
Yeah, it's something that is very exciting to come.
What do you
I'm not
want to see?
sure Ooh, what do I want to
Yeah,
see? Well,
what character do you want to see that uh they haven't already talked about? Like what character would be like a oh, they would fit so well in this like world if you give them a thing. I'll say I would love to see Oliver Queen
mhm,
because it's just like
Robin Hood.
yeah, it's just like okay, that makes sense. It'd be weird if he wasn't in there.
Um, I would want to see the villains. And oddly enough, I would want to see like of the three villains that pop in the head. One is Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, I can see that. Would you want to
Number
see him
two,
as Ra's al Ghul?
yeah,
As like Ra's al Ghul, like how he lived through that time?
yeah.
I think that would be cool. I didn't think about that.
Like just a Ra's al Ghul who's like obviously younger than the one we're used to seeing.
Yeah,
And being able to possibly sway Bruce.
yeah,
Because from the panels we've seen, it very much looks like that this Bruce doesn't have the secret identity of Batman. Like he's just
he's just
the
a
Dark
knight.
Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see a Ra's al Ghul who would be able to sway him to join him. Number two, being fuck, what's their name? Um,
I can give you one of mine.
Go ahead.
I would love to see, and this might sound weird, but hear me out. Deathstroke.
Huh?
I would love to
He
see
fits.
like, hmm?
He fits.
Yeah, he kind of fits. It's kind of weird when you say it, but then if you think about it just a little bit, it's like, oh, yeah, a mercenary like guy who fights with swords a lot, who like could easily exist in any age because mercenary is one of the oldest jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like hired
Um,
knight.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Another villain I would like to see, which would be interesting to see him, Joker.
yeah. I think that it's safe to say that Joker will probably be in there.
Like Harley is already there.
The question is, will Joker be a villain in the same way? Because I think that some of these like classical villains might end up just being part of this kingdom. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they actually like have a role in the kingdom and are
Yeah.
not a villain per se.
Because a lot of like the reasons why characters are villains is based in modern sensibility.
Yeah,
If you take
and
that
this
character
isn't
and
modern.
if you take that character and put them in like a court position in like a king's court, it's like, oh, well, maybe they would be a good advisor.
Like Penguin.
Yeah, like Penguin being like in charge of like the coffers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could easily see that.
Um,
Penguin's a
and
money guy.
I we've seen some iterations of Green Lantern in like a mythic
Yeah.
sense.
I'll be honest.
Um,
I don't want to see Green Lantern here.
no,
No, like just because it feels I would like to see. Okay, I'll say this. I'd like to see like Alan Scott
hmm
Green Lantern here, not like the Green Lantern core Green Lantern.
Now,
Kind of
what would you say to a Green Lantern, but like they don't have the ring and they're just literally in green armor?
like they're like just in green armor.
Like the Green Lantern core is just Green Knights.
Oh, I'd be down with that. Like, and like I again, I think that's like that'd be interesting to see the Green Lantern core imagine that way. I don't want like an individual Green Lantern. I guess is more my thing. I don't want like oh it's Hal Jordan and he's like
Like it. So my thought process
you
on
know
like the Green Lantern core, like the Green Knights, is like they have like the four mythic heads or like the head knights. Not the head knights, like they're dead.
Mhm.
But like the four people who established it being Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, and Hal Jordan, and where we pick off with the Green Lantern Knights would be with Alan Scott, a young Alan Scott.
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool.
Um,
Again, fucking comic book fans come up with the best shit.
yeah, so I think that would be really cool. Uh,
Mhm.
we could speak it out in existence if we could only be answered by Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
Um,
Did I?
but
I,
that
to- I think
that
I
that
told
would
you
be
this.
really cool.
Just a side note. Tom Taylor liked my tweet.
Yeah, you told me,
I was feeling pretty good about myself that day.
you shell.
I'm an absolute shill. I was pretty fucking pumped. It's a
We we
little
could
lame.
we could honestly relabel this episode as the Tom Taylor circle jerk.
I might literally on YouTube call it like we talk about Tom Taylor for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because
Two
it's what we're
hour
doing.
Tom Taylor. This could just be the DC DKOS episode, honestly, because we're
Um,
gonna be talking about a lot.
us metaphorically stroking off Tom Taylor
Yeah,
with the hopes that this reaches him.
yeah, it's just great.
Um,
I love
yeah, like
talking about it. Um,
the ways they could reimagine all the characters in the DC universe. I'm looking forward to it.
I would love a. It's gonna sound weird. I would love like a dark side dragon.
I would actually like to see Darkseid as a rival kingdom, like Apocalypse
Yeah.
being a rival kingdom.
I feel like though, if it's like if he looks like dark side, I would like it if he starts out like a human looking guy,
And then gets disfigured.
and then like slowly like something corrupts him.
Like the magic he's wielding
Yes,
corrupts him into like that black cracked skin.
I think that's what I'm excited like to see, like technology reimagined as magic.
Hmm.
Because I think I might have tweeted this. There's so much opportunity once this comes out for us to run a DKOS D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do that. I would love to do that like on this channel maybe.
Hmm.
Um I don't know who would DM it, but I but like I'm in love with the idea of taking this world and
And running with it.
running with it. And the thing is, I'll say this, we haven't read any of it yet because it's not fucking out.
It's not out.
It's not out. To know that you're gonna enjoy something so much without having to know anything about it is a great gift.
Yeah, it's very I'm not sure if liberating is the word, but like it's very much like I don't have to really care about anything else and I'm just looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's like I am, how do I put it? I'm getting pre-pleasure
Yeah.
from it. Like normally, like when you read something and it's like, oh, awesome, hell yeah, and then like you get like all of your enjoyment at that point and after. It's rare that
Hmm.
you get it a lot of it before. Just
Yeah,
talking about it.
this is our metaphorical foreplay.
Yeah, it's foreplay. It's fucking Tom Taylor jerked us around for 2 weeks, and then he started whispering shit in our
Yeah,
ears.
he was teasing us for the 2 weeks, and now we're in foreplay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better way to put what this is right now.
He better make me oh.
Better. Um, but no, I think the idea of doing like a campaign based around like medieval DC is really cool because like honestly, before this was announced, I was like thinking about a comic book campaign. I know you've talked about it. I think you've done one before.
Yeah, I've done and failed one. Yes.
Yeah, I would love to succeed. uh, I would love for us to do one where we actually like get to play it and it works out.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's like with you would have to use a different like system for like modern superhero like kind of thing. Like I think it's harder to adapt D&D for that kind of thing than it
Into
is to
modern
just
times,
use a
bring
different
them and
system.
bring them back. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's easier to like see myself going, like, oh, I can modify like D&D to work for this.
yeah.
Kind of, there's a little part of me that wants to see the Flash.
He just runs fast.
Yeah, but my point is like I don't want him to like run super duper. Like I don't want him to be like as fast as he normally is.
Hmm.
I want him to be like a fucking essentially a mailman. You know what I mean? Like a scroll carrier running messages between kingdoms kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then something happens.
He's the messenger.
He's the messenger. I want to be, like a fucking Hermes on foot. Uh I don't know. Man, fuck, it's so exciting. I don't I want to see like if they stick with like swords or if they have different uh
Magics and stuff like
magics
that.
and things. Like I'm sure there'll be magic. I mean, they put Constantine in there for a reason. Like
Yeah,
there are
and
a few
I
characters that we
believe
know.
Superman is going to be Superman in the comic.
I think he's gonna be super strong. Yeah, in all
Yeah,
honesty,
because like there's that panel where like the sword breaks against his bare chest.
I honestly I don't know. I think maybe what would be interesting for this if they take out his ability to fly.
Mm.
You know, just like in this case, feels a bit OP. There's a part of me that thinks that part of like the fantasy element of fantasy is that it takes a long time for information to get from place to place a little bit.
Yeah, and
Like
then flying takes that out of it.
yeah, flying takes that out of it, but then again, there's only three of them. So
Yeah.
like it's the fact that Superman's parents are alive to see that characterization. We rarely see it,
Hmm.
and we rarely see it in a normal way.
Yeah. The last time I remember seeing that was
Well, it's
in
Thomas. It's
a sort of
when Superman's father is alive.
no. There was a limited issue run called The Last Family of Krypton.
Oh, I've never even
Yeah,
heard of that.
and it was Jor-El, uh, Clark, and I forget his mother's name.
Uh, Lara,
Laurel.
Laurel.
Yeah, and that they escaped Krypton to planet Earth.
Oh no, it's Lara. Lara L. Wild.
Laurel.
Laurel.
Yeah, so there was a limited issue run. It was like I believe broken into a two-parter where they became the L family on Earth.
Mm-hmm. With Bruel
And
and and Laura.
yeah, and then there were the Superman had two younger siblings.
That's cool. I'm gonna read that. This was
Yeah,
2010.
it was a very interesting run, and I really enjoyed it.
This was pre New 52.
Hmm.
It's so far back.
Yeah,
But
it reimagined a certain characters like Lex Luthor, for instance.
yeah.
And then had mentioned other heroes that would have been in like the regular universe. Like I believe the Kents, not the Kents, the L's saved Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Hmm.
So there's not a Batman in that universe.
That's insane. It's not
Yeah.
on Comixology, so I'll have to find it somewhere else. But yeah, holy shit.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm excited.
yeah. That's really cool. I'm gonna find that somewhere. But I just realized Lex Luthor is definitely gonna be in this, right?
I kind of don't want to see him.
I don't want to see him in the same capacity.
Because there was a medieval Elseworlds with Superman and Lex Luthor,
Mhm.
and I'm worried that this is going to be a kind of rehash of that, just in a broader sense, because
Yeah,
we only got like 2 issues for that one. Um, because that Superman couldn't fly either.
I didn't
He
say we
was
don't know if this one can fly.
yeah, that Superman couldn't fly. He was just super strong and super durable.
Mhm.
And then to kill him, because he does die at the end of it, um, Lex forges a kryptonite sword.
I'm like, I mean, their kryptonite's gonna be there. There's gonna be some shit. I have to say, I know you're hoping not, but he's definitely gonna be in it, right?
Yeah, like
Like,
also because
I
it's
don't think he has
magic.
to be a villain though.
Mhm,
Like, I don't think he has to be a villain. He could be like a antagonist on a lower level because they're
mhm,
all young, right? I
yeah,
think Lex Luthor could be like a young rival in the capacity of, prince of a different kingdom.
or he could be older than Superman and be a mentor.
Sure. Like I could see a bunch of different ways you incorporate Lex Luthor. Like there's not one that pops to my head being like, "Oh, that's obviously how it's going to go."
Yeah, and also, in this universe, I'm glad that because you brought up kryptonite, I'm glad that kryptonite doesn't have to be introduced because
Mhm.
Superman has always been weak to magic, and magic can kill him.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I didn't really consider it, but yeah, it doesn't have to be. Um I love that there's going to definitely be a focus on magic because again,
Hmm.
Constantine's in there.
Yeah, and Black Adam.
Yeah, and Black Adam. Black Adam, different kind of magic.
Yeah.
I I wonder if they're gonna consolidate it all to make it like a lore friendly kind of like the magic is all kind of relative to the same thing. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's not like we have these five different realms and the magic comes from
Yeah.
here, 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 and here. And it's like
Hmm.
would it just be like one?
One universal pool of magic.
Can we not introduce like six things in one 12 issue miniseries? And
Yeah.
whatever subsequent like six different series comes out of it.
Something else that just popped into my head where they like because I don't believe they're gonna go with Superman being an alien. They could make him the equivalent to Achilles
Mm.
in the story.
I think they'll probably make him an alien, but not like they've been there for a while.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Superman's parents were born on Earth. Is what I think maybe.
Hmm.
Like it's not like they all escaped like a different planet. You know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stick with the whole like mythical aspect of it all because
It'd be
Achilles
cool.
was the Greek Superman.
Yeah.
Like no blade can touch him, arrows bounced off of him, nothing could hurt him besides, on his ankle.
Yeah. I think the good thing is at
Um,
the very least we do know that it's not going to be uh they escape Krypton and come here because I mean, holy shit, he's a fucking king.
yeah,
Like a kingdom doesn't sprout up in
a day.
a day. Like it takes centuries. So
Yep.
like I think that makes me think that it'll either be what you're talking about, where it's just like a royal blood line
Hmm.
like thing. Like I think that's how they'll talk about it no matter what.
Yeah.
I think they'll be like the royal bloodline has special powers, like God King magic shit.
Yeah.
It also seems from like the stuff that we've seen that Superman's mother is going to be an antagonist. I don't know if you saw that panel where it's like Batman is in the room and she's like smiling like really evilly.
No, I have not.
There's a panel and I'm like, oh, what's what's this then? Um, but yeah, no, I'm fucking pumped. I'm fucking pumped. I think I sent this to you. I do renders on my. I have an Instagram where I post a daily render from Blender every day.
Hmm.
Like I do 3D art. Uh, it's something because I want to start working in that more. Um, but the day that we found out that it was Dark Knights of Steel, I was like, holy fuck! I'm making a Batman sword. Like, and I
Oh,
immediately
I do see another panel with Nightwing, Jason, Stephanie Brown, and Duke
she
Thomas in Dark Knights of Steel.
send it to me. Shoot me through. I need to know. It's so fucking exciting. I'm so fucking excited just to like see everything. You know?
Um, I'm looking for your name.
I mean, I know that we most of what this conversation has been is like I'm excited. No, I'm also excited. But like it's fucking exciting. It's like a new DC world written by one of the best DC writers with the best DC artists. Like the team that they've assembled is awesome. And
Yeah, I just sent it to you on Facebook.
yeah, okay. And you know what? Let's not just focus on DC right now. If we're gonna do a Tom Taylor shill session,
Dark Ages.
let's talk about Dark Ages because I'm also fucking excited for Dark Ages, and I'm not a Marvel guy. You know, like I am very much a okay, whatever. Like if
Yeah, you're
it's
more of a
if it's good,
DC
it's good.
show.
I'm more of a DC shill in that like oh, it is a spaceship crash lands from a Doom planet. That's what it says on the first issue thing. But yeah, no. Anyway,
Mm.
I'm more of a DC like shill. Like I've always read DC more than Marvel, mostly because I love Batman and Robin. Like I love reading Teen Titans. Teen Titans was like my big like oh my god, comics are great
Yeah.
because I grew up reading more manga before then.
Hmm.
You know because you watch based on what's on TV. Like you watch fucking Dragon Ball and shit.
Yeah.
If you're into like what the kind of stuff that we're into. But yeah, no, like so I think I've said this before. My first like big Marvel comic that I really enjoyed was Ultimate Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and we did a whole episode on the Ultimate Universe. Doesn't hold up, but uh,
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man still
But
does. Dark Ages is the first time I've been super excited about a Marvel event in a decade or two.
yep,
Not
it's
two,
led by
but
obviously Tom Taylor because
yeah,
he's one of the main reasons why we're talking about it, and the artist Eben Coelho.
yeah,
And just the initial cover with it just looks amazing. With on the cover right now for the first issue, it has the Invisible Woman, Thing, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Iron Man.
yeah,
And then we know that with Dark Ages, this is gonna be the fall of the Marvel universe.
yeah. It feels like a great jumping off point for people like me,
Hmm.
like who are like, I'm into comics. I've read Marvel every once in a while.
Oh wow! So I'm reading it right now. So the first issue is gonna be like the fall of technology and everything like that. And then issue number two is gonna take up years after the incident.
That makes sense because Spider-Man has like white hair,
Yep, and
right?
a daughter.
Yeah, and a daughter. And Miles Morales looks like he has a symbiote.
Yep, he does have a symbiote.
It
And
fucking
then
looks cool. He looks like a vampire.
it just shows Apocalypse in the background with that grin on his face.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The second issue cover is what got me like super fucking excited for Dark
Because
Ages.
like Peter looks very much like Reed Richards here.
Yeah,
And I don't think that that's an accident.
yeah, and you can tell that his web shooters are using like compressed air.
Yeah, it's all steampunk,
Yeah, I love that
especially
aesthetic.
Iron Man suit.
It's all very fucking exciting.
And like I also enjoy the fact that there are plenty of heroes in the Marvel universe that use technology.
Hmm. There are a lot.
Iron Man being the biggest,
Mhm.
um, and then subsequently all the other Iron Men and women,
Yeah,
um, along with another big name that pops into my head, the Black Panther,
yeah. Oddly enough,
because there have been iterations of his suit where it's like that nanotech vibranium mesh, but also Wakanda in the comics is a very heavily technologically advanced civilization.
yeah. The comics and like the MCU are pretty close on Wakanda.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see Wakanda in this world where like I don't imagine them struggling,
No.
but it would be very interesting to see them go back to what I would assume would be their old times.
Yeah,
And then just to see the world become more tribal in a sense.
yeah. I think the question is like, is it how many years is it? Did they say?
It
Did you
just
say
said years.
years? Peter Parker's daughter looks to
She
be
like 5 or 6.
yeah, maybe six. Let's say six. But they all look quite a bit older.
Yeah, because like Peter has like the gray hairs coming over here, but we also don't know when he had her.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's just call it a decade. Let's
Okay,
let's
because
just
also
let's assume.
Miles looks so much older.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it because let's just assume it's a decade. That makes sense to me.
Hmm.
What does humanity look like a decade without
With no
technology?
technology.
I one of my favorite series on TV to watch was Revolution. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So essentially, like the concept is all electricity stops working.
Hmm.
Like on the planet, electricity shuts off all at the same time. Uh, so you can't make power at all. Like there's no functional way. It feels like that's kind of what this is.
Hmm.
And what you see in Revolution is it takes place like I want to say 10 years. Yeah, like 10 years or 15 years after all the power goes out. They kind of devolve into Civil War era like kind of combat.
Hmm.
Uh with, you know, loaded pistols and guns, swords, that kind of thing, but still have a like kind of Western setup. You know what I'm talking about? Like Western expansion
Yeah.
style, like thing. Trains still work. So that's the whole thing. I
Uh,
imagine that that's kind of where it will go.
I could also see it going in the standpoint of Marvel 1602
Mm,
and just like smashing it into the modern day,
yeah,
where like the 1602 characters or iterations of those heroes is what we're gonna get kind of like of bleed into with Dark Ages.
yeah. I
But
I
I
think the thing
also
is we don't know what happened.
yeah,
Like that's the best part. I have no idea how this is going to functionally work.
My running theory, because I see Apocalypse right here in the background, and he's going to be playing a huge part of it.
Mm.
I have a feeling because in I'm not sure if you've kept up with the X-Men as of like the past year or two.
I know what's going on in general. It's like they have the whole separate continent, like
Mhm.
they have their own country and
They
stuff.
have Mars.
Oh, fun. Tell me
Yeah,
more.
they in the latest issue for the Hellfire Gala event as a way to bring in mutant prosperity.
Hmm.
They were like, what can we do that no one has done that they all want to do but are too much of a pussy to do? Terraform Mars and claim it for mutants.
I mean, it's true.
And that's what they did.
Lit.
Yeah, but Apocalypse has been like here and there with the X-Men, whatever, because he's part of the council, the inner council. And the inner council is made up of almost all of the Omega level mutants.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like Charles Xavier, Magneto, Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister is on the council,
Hmm.
Mystique is on the council, Jean Grey, Emma Frost.
The names that you expect to be there.
Yeah, the other person from the Hellfire Club, the guy who takes in Connecticut, Sebastian Shaw.
Mm.
He's also part of the council, and I Storm is a part of the council. Cyclops is a part of the council. Wolverine wants nothing to do with it.
That's
Um,
Wolverine.
and, and I believe Nightcrawler is part of the council.
That feels out of place to me, but okay.
Yeah, and he's recently in the Way of X.
Hmm.
He is dealing with a crisis of faith
Mm.
because he is a Catholic
Yeah.
and people are essentially committing suicide, and he's having a tough time dealing with this.
Suicide because of Catholicism,
No,
or just in
because
general.
in general, because he is very much like, oh, if you commit suicide, you're going to hell. Or it's a mortal sin to do this,
Yes.
and people are willingly like going on suicide missions, or they either going on suicide missions willingly without a
Uh.
care in the world, or they get themselves in situations and they get killed. And when they get brought back to life, they were like, "Yeah, that was fucking rad."
So he's having a crisis of faith. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And it also like they set this thing up with the mutants, and they're also like working in ways to bring it down. Like they're bringing back. I'm not sure if you know about this character, the Onslaught.
Yeah, I know about Austin.
Yeah, they brought him back recently
Hmm.
as a threat to this new mutant utopia.
That feels like a good
Um,
move.
and then also like just the Sentinels and everything they're bringing back. Um, and the X-Men are weird right now. But anyway,
Yeah, they're
back to
complicated. That's why I
Apocalypse.
haven't been. That's
Yeah,
why
back
I've
to
been waiting
Apocalypse.
for trades for all of it, so I can go. Okay, I think when Dark Ages starts, I'll start doing back like reading back issues,
Hmm.
just because it's like okay, it's exactly what I did with Death Metal.
Yeah,
I started going back, and I'm like, okay, I'll read up to this point.
yeah. But back to the apocalypse of it all.
Hmm.
Um, it like when people bring him up or whatever, like people. I think it was like in a panel where people were like, "I wonder what happened to the Dark Ages or the Bronze Age or whatever." Like we hear about all these ages ending, but we don't really have like a specific cause. And then Apocalypse is just posturing, or like he walks into the room and he answers the question. You're like, "Oh, it was me." And then what?
Hmm.
Excuse me? No, no, no. I didn't like the Bronze Age anymore. I ushered it in and I ended it.
I got over it.
Yeah, it's basically that. I got over it.
Who wants more bronze?
So I think this is going to be another one of those times where Apocalypse brings everything down into the Dark Ages,
Oh my god.
and then asserts dominance into this new world.
Yeah. Damn.
Because
I'm
it is going to be a bunch of young heroes and other heroes and villains who are like, okay, we don't know how to make a living without technology. What do we do? And then I have a feeling it's gonna be Apocalypse where he's just gonna be like, yeah, follow me, and you'll live. And then if you don't, you'll die.
I think it's really interesting because this is the main Marvel universe.
Yep.
Like, it's a lot to skip years in your universe. DC has done it before one time where they wholesale brought their universe forward 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had like the missing year as like a comic like runs thing that some individual teams would do, but it was never like fully gone back to. Um it's obvious to me that Marvel's doing at least 6 years. I would assume they're going to do a wholesale 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that at the end of this things get changed a bit, like to the point where we go back and it's like a universe wipe kind of thing, and we get like new characters? Like in terms of, do you think this is like a light reboot kind of thing, or you think they're going to
So
stick with like the time jump? Because again, for me, Marvel has always been like we keep everything, we do minor
mhm.
changes, we don't we don't go forward in time and then back in time. Like,
so what I see two, maybe three things.
okay,
Number one, and I hope this isn't it, but it's very possible that this is just another universe.
I would hate that.
Like this is just another universe that runs parallel to the main universe, and it functions as the new baseline for this universe.
Hmm.
Number two is like you said, like this is going to be the new status quo, where it's going to be aged up 5, 6 a decade, um, not 5 or 6 decades, but like 5 years
Yeah,
or
no,
six
I know what
years,
you mean.
and then or a decade, and the heroes, villains, and everybody is going to be aged up, and then at the end of it, if and when they bring, it's not going to be if they're probably going to bring technology back. That this is how the heroes are going to be going forward,
Yeah,
which which doesn't have a lot of lasting implications for some heroes, like Wolverine, because on the cover it's Laura Kinney's X-23 Wolverine.
yeah,
um Apocalypse, some of the mutants, some of the more like powered people who don't age as long as others do.
yeah.
um
I think it has
because
big
I can,
implications for like characters like Peter Parker.
yeah, like but I can also see, because there've been stories where Peter Parker continues being Spider-Man well into his 50s.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he'll stop being Spider-Man, but like the fact that he actually has a kid now.
Yeah.
Like we've seen a lot of times where Peter Parker has a kid,
Hmm.
but those are always
In
like
in another universe.
another universe. It's an Elseworld kind of like
Yeah,
story. It's a
like
what if.
the most prominent being right now is Spider-Man and Mary Jane Renew Your Vows.
Yeah, like
That was a universe where they had Spiderling.
yeah, that was a very fun
Yeah.
comic. I also the what was the J.J. Abrams comic? J.J. Abrams
I
was
know what you're
Spider
talking
Man,
about.
but
Yeah, I think it was just J.J. Abrams. I think it was just labeled J.J. Abrams presents Spider-Man.
yeah, it was good. I kind of liked it.
Um,
But like there's a lot there.
yeah, and so that's number two, where like this is gonna be the status quo, and then number three could be that at the end of like however many issues this is, I'm gonna give it the standard 10,
Yeah, I can see that.
like 10
I was gonna ask
issues,
if you knew,
hopefully.
but
I do not.
yeah,
Um,
I'm,
6, 10, between 6 and 10 issues.
I'm pretty sure one comes out
September
September.
5th,
Oh yeah, it's coming close. Oh no, September 1st,
September 1st.
and it's 6 issues.
Okay,
It
six
says at the
issues.
bottom of like the thing, September 1st, and then the second comes out. So it's a monthly. It's a monthly run.
And I'm looking at the issue number 3 cover art, and it looks like Apocalypse and Reed Richards are working together. That is terrifying.
That tracks. Reed Richards is a shit. He's a
But
shit
I could
hero,
also,
great villain, I think. Is
yeah,
that weird?
all of his hair is gray in this image. So yeah, I'm putting this at a decade time lapse.
Yeah.
Um, but it could also, like, at the end of this, I could very much see them going back in time to stop Apocalypse from doing whatever he did to stop technology,
Mm.
but with it creating lasting effects.
Yeah.
Like one of those effects I'm hoping is Peter Parker's daughter.
Peter Parker's daughter. Got it.
Yeah.
I
And then also like whatever changes that they might bring to heroes that are good for the hero.
You know what? Here's what I would like. I would like if at the end of this there's like a wish or something. I don't care how they figure it out, but it just brings things back
To normal.
to normal. But the decade has happened. The past
Okay.
10 years have happened. Everyone knows that it happened. It's remembered, but like society is reinstated quickly.
Hmm.
Like they're not running around in ruins for the next year. Like no matter how it happens, I want like this is my ideal. This all happens. We say that 10 years have happened. Society's reinstated. We go back to kind of more normal Marvel status quo, but the heroes have changed.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I feel like that's the most interesting way that this could go. If they go, hey, we wipe it for 10 years in the past back, like, meh.
Hmm.
Like, because and this is me coming in as someone who doesn't follow the Marvel Universe wholesale. Like, I read here and there, right? So, if this is to get new readers in, the best thing you can do is keep what you did.
Yeah, and not just revert it.
Not just revert it. It allows people to like be like, oh, okay. I new stuff, easier for me to understand. It's the like, you know, it's the same thing that DC did with like you know, their reboots. Like
Yeah.
they changed things and like they kept the changes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I want it. I want it.
I want it
I
now.
want it now. There's so much happening in comic books right now. In the past 2 weeks, like last week, I was so bummed that we couldn't have an episode
Hmm.
because the DKOS news had dropped, and I was like, oh my god, I want to talk about it so bad. And then like the stuff that happened in like Infinite Frontier, which I don't think we mentioned it. They have a new Justice League team that's coming out of that. There's a
Yep,
new
just a League
Injustice
incarnate.
team,
Yeah, with a Sinestro Joker.
which I've never been more scared in my life. That's fucking terrifying. Also, if you don't know, Infinite
Super Doom.
Infinite Frontier is like a great comic to read right now if you want to get into DC Comics in general right now. Like how I expect Dark Ages will be.
Hmm.
Like if you wanted to get into Marvel. Yeah, but they have Superwoman. They have fucking God, just like the creepiest fucking characters I've ever seen. Like this should worry you.
Yeah, so it's Superwoman, Dr. Sivana, the Sinestro Joker, Magog, and then behind Magog is Super Doom, which, if you don't know who Super Doom is, it's an amalgamation of Superman and Doomsday.
I actually had no idea who that was, so thank you for clearing
Yeah,
that up.
yeah,
Um,
he runs a dystopian future where he rules everything.
yeah,
And I believe that burnt character is a Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I think that's too. It's.
I just don't know who that top left character is.
I'm gonna say there's some kind of. What was I about to say? He wears the helmet. Doctor Fate,
Possibly.
maybe. But honestly, just seeing Joker with the Yellow Lantern ring, very scary.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary, because that's like exactly who you wouldn't want to have that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's coming out this week. The next issue. Again, there's a lot of great comics right now. Um, and just to like kind of wrap it up, we have a Discord. We have a Discord.
Hmm.
It's very small right now. But that's where we'll be discussing this stuff. If you have questions about where to start with comics, ask them there.
Yep.
I'll be on there. Cisco's on there. We like to talk comics. We talk comics when this show isn't going on. I try to limit it a bit
For the show,
for the show because otherwise
but we can't help it.
we can't help it. Sometimes there are things that happen. Like when there's big news, we text about it briefly,
Yeah,
and then we wait for
that's it.
the podcast
Hmm.
because this is where we want to make sure we get like the best conversations for you guys. Um, again, we do post this every Monday on YouTube. So if you don't want to watch every week, there were a lot of people in here for this episode, by the way. Like we hit like 10 viewers concurrently, which usually doesn't happen for this
Nice.
podcast. I'll say it. It was kind of cool. Um, but yeah, no. If you don't want to watch it live, that's fine. We have it on
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm gonna be going back and retouching the audio for the first couple episodes when we find a good podcast provider that will accept us easily,
Hmm.
or won't be a pain in the ass to upload them. Um, because it's just me sitting at my computer going through and getting everything set up every week, which is not hard, but I also don't want to like create a whole other thing
Hmm.
that makes it a barrier to listen or watch. Um, but yeah, our YouTube link is right below this stream. Click on it. Maybe go subscribe. Maybe do a little subscribe. There's other stuff on there too, but guaranteed this every week.
Yep.
We have 10. We've done 10 other ones of these, but I think this format worked out really well. In my
Yeah.
opinion, I think we might do one of these every other
Every other
podcast. Does
episode.
that
Yeah.
sound good? Like maybe next week we'll do another themed one where we talk more about a specific topic.
Yeah.
If you want to suggest topics, Discord.
Drop them.
The bot has been spamming the link. um, but yeah, no, I think unless you have anything else you want to talk about,
Oh,
I think that's it.
yeah, this is a good stopping point.
This was a good episode. I was craving it the past 2 weeks. I've been like comics
Jonesing for it.
I've been jonesing for it. I've been John Jonesing for it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be here for the next episode.
Yeah.
But as you know, I'm moving to Rhode Island, and next week is the big move, like the big move.
The big move.
So I'm gonna try to make it for that Sunday show. If not, I'll let you know, and then
Yeah.
we'll just push it to that next weekend.
Yeah. If we're both in the process of moving out of our current places.
Hmm.
Mine is heavily delayed, so I'll be here for a while. We're going to try to do at least one more in-person show.
Yeah,
I think that's the
hopefully.
goal. We get at least one more before I move out of the state and
Hmm.
you move out of the state. But yeah, this was the Unnamed Comic Podcast. Jump in the Discord. I'm Alex. That's Cisco. We'll see you next week. Peace.